Hey guys, what's going on? Jeb here, and in today's video, we're going to be discussing the worst case scenario on Bitcoin. Because in yesterday's video, I outlined two major scenarios for Bitcoin, either a bounce at the 100 simple moving average and rally from where we are now, or Bitcoin falling below the 100 simple moving average on the weekly chart, all the way down to a price target that we'll discuss in this video, and bouncing there and moving higher after that. Guys, I think it's important we discuss potential worst case scenarios on Bitcoin, not only so that we can profit from them, but also so that we can be prepared for them and make sure that we're safe if they do end up happening. We're going to be discussing the reasons why Bitcoin might fall through important support that it's above right now. We're going to be discussing the technical analysis surrounding all of this, levels of support, and potential bounce points as well. So guys, I think we have a great video lined up for you today. If you do enjoy today's video, smash that like button and hit that subscribe button. We do daily cryptocurrency technical analysis, and I would love to see your pretty face around here more than once. But guys, before we do get into it, I do want to very briefly mention the sponsor of today's video, which is the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy. There's a $40 off coupon code linked down below. You can enroll for $40 off. But guys, before we dive on into it, I do briefly want to mention the sponsor of today's video, which is the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy. If you guys want to learn about technical analysis so that you're able to profit in any market that Bitcoin throws at you, a great place to do so is CT2A. There's a $40 off coupon code, October 2019, linked down below. More on that at the end of the video. Anyway, guys, shameless self-promotion out of the way. Let's go ahead and dive on into the shorter term charts because I want to talk about what we were looking at yesterday. As you guys know, Bitcoin has fallen, obviously, and we've been trading down here around $8,000. And in yesterday's video, like I said, I outlined a couple of different scenarios where Bitcoin could either potentially bounce where it is now or fall all the way down to the 200 weekly simple moving average, down around $4,500, and bounce from there. In today's video, we're specifically going to be analyzing what happens if Bitcoin breaks the 100 simple weekly moving average, the weekly simple moving average, and what might transpire if that happens. But first of all, let's discuss what might actually cause Bitcoin to fall below the 100 weekly simple moving average, because in history, that's not something that happens. As you guys probably know, during bull markets, Bitcoin is above the 100 weekly simple moving average, and during the accumulation phase, not even the bear market, the accumulation phase right through here, Bitcoin fell below the 100 weekly moving average. After it got back up above that moving average, it came down, tested it as support as we're doing right now. And in the previous bull market, Bitcoin bounced from there and went on a bull market. In this bull market, what we're discussing is Bitcoin not repeating history as it did here, but instead falling below the 100 simple moving average and pulling back to other levels of support below it. And guys, one thing you have to keep in mind about back analysis on old markets like we saw back in 2015 is that these old markets did not have the same fundamental pressures that we're seeing right now. They're simply patterns, and patterns don't always have to repeat themselves. They just generally do. So even though Bitcoin got support at the 100 weekly SMA right here back on January the 11th of 2016, around that time, that doesn't necessarily mean that the same thing is going to happen this time, because in our case, there are a lot of bullish fundamentals, there is a lot of bullish pressure, but at the very moment, I'm talking about like this week, last week, maybe next week, there's not actually a whole lot of bullish news coming out. Guys, Bakkt launched, and that was supposed to be one of the most bullish news stories of the entire year, and it launched to very little fanfare. A couple days after it launched, Bitcoin dumped. We talked about that. That's probably because a lot of people were expecting Bakkt to launch and Bitcoin to moon, and when it didn't, they got their hopes crushed, and then they sold their Bitcoin and left the space. I feel like what we're seeing in Bitcoin right now is that a lot of people are feeling let down that Bitcoin did not have a bigger rally, even though we already had a gigantic one in quarter 2 and on into quarter 3 of 2019. I think a lot of people are like, what the heck? Bitcoin's supposed to be at $20,000 right now, which is why I'm trying not to be ridiculously bullish and throw out insane price targets, because I want to be realistic with you guys. It is possible that Bitcoin breaks the 100 simple moving average because enough people are not enthusiastic about the market, enough people aren't believing in Bitcoin in the long term, enough people aren't investing in Bitcoin, enough of that mainstream media attention isn't back into Bitcoin, enough of the, especially most importantly, the hype is not back into Bitcoin yet. So yes, it is possible that Bitcoin falls below the 100 weekly simple moving average. So with that said, let's discuss what happens if that does. Now guys, we've discussed levels of support on Bitcoin quite a lot recently, but I'm going to go over it briefly. First of all, the main level of support that we're looking at is $7,750. The reason for that is, as you can see on this horizontal line, that is the bottom of a major VPVR spike that is getting bigger by the day because we're still trading around these levels, that was built with this price action over here. As we can see, guys, there's a big spike on the VPVR, and the reason that's there is because of all of this trading. And what that means is that we're finding a lot of support at $7,700 to $8,200 in this kind of zone that we've drawn with our support lines. As far back as a week ago, we predicted that Bitcoin was going to get a lot of strong support here. And this is kind of the make or break point that we're talking about. If Bitcoin falls down here, then the scenario that we're discussing in this video actually starts to play out. And guys, the thing is that if Bitcoin falls below $7,700, then Bitcoin is back in a bear market by all measures. It's below some very important levels of support. For example, the 200 daily simple moving average. As you can see, we're already below it, but we might kind of bounce and get above it soon. If we don't do that, we are by definition, by the 24 different ways you can define whether or not you're in a bull market or a bear market, we're back in a bear market. And if we go back into a bear market, that is going to cause a lot of sell side pressure, and that is going to drive Bitcoin pretty low. And also, guys, one of the problems with that is that Bitcoin doesn't have a whole lot of support in between about $7,700 all the way down to $6,000. The main support that we see is actually in this zone between $6,000 and $6,400. To see that, we have to zoom out to get our VPVR to take all of this into account, and we see that our VPVR is taking into account all of this support that we built around 6K back in 2018. If we fall below $7,700, the next price target, the next support zone is at $6,000 to $6,400, and it doesn't necessarily stop there, guys, because in my humble opinion, $6,000 to $6,400, while it might hold, I'm not gonna bet my money on it completely. I'll definitely be buying Bitcoin in down there and averaging in down there if we fall that low. But honestly, guys, if we fall down to $6,000, I have a feeling we might fall a little bit lower to our final level of support, which is the 200 weekly simple moving average. And the reason I say that is pretty simple, guys. The 200 moving average on the daily chart and the weekly chart, and even on the much shorter term charts, is one of those very important moving averages. It's kind of like the 20 weekly exponential moving average. As we can see with this, guys, whenever Bitcoin is above the 20 weekly exponential moving averages in a bull market, we just fell below it, remember? But in the same way that the 20 EMA is very important, so too is the 200. And Bitcoin has only ever needed to come down and test this moving average twice on the weekly chart. Once back in 2019, we have never broken below it. Bitcoin has never closed a candlestick below this moving average, at least not for an extended period of time. So if Bitcoin does crash, it's most likely, in my opinion, that it will crash all the way down to $4,600, $4,700, wherever this moving average is at the time, and garner support there. And the reason that's significant, guys, is because when you're out on the weekly chart, it's actually much easier to find where the bottoms are going to be because there's not as much technical analysis going on. There's not people looking at 20 different types of moving averages and 20 different types of indicators. There's only a couple of them that we're actually looking at, and the 200 weekly moving average is one that most people are looking at. So worst case scenario, if we fall below the 100, is we're probably coming back down to the 200. So let's discuss what happens from there. Well, guys, if Bitcoin does fall below the 100 moving average and all these other technical indicators that we talked about, we're going back into a bear market, at least temporarily, and the bull market will probably resume sometime next year, but it probably will take until next year. If we extrapolate out this 200 weekly moving average, something like that, Bitcoin will probably take a couple of months to come back down here. It'll probably be in December, maybe November before we even hit it, and then we're going to start slowly creeping our way back up because the bullish pressure is still there. The intrinsic value of Bitcoin is always growing. The fundamentals are always improving. Bitcoin will recover, but it's going to take a long time, and we might not hit $20,000 until the end of quarter 2 on into quarter 3 of next year because of how much progress we lost. There's a reason that everybody's talking about how significant and how important this moment is in Bitcoin. This is a very important decision point for Bitcoin because if we bounce here and we actually do move bullish in the bullish scenario, as we'll discuss in tomorrow's video, then a $20,000 Bitcoin might still be on the table even for this year. But if Bitcoin falls and breaks bearish here, it's probably not on the table until the second half of next year, if not longer than that, guys. So to wrap out the scenario, let's discuss how we can be profitable, how we can protect ourselves in this scenario. The first thing I want to mention to you guys is that whether or not you're in a short or a long, I don't care if you're in either, I don't care what the market looks like, I don't care if it just broke out, I don't care if you're making a 10,000% trade with 200x leverage on one of these exchanges, I don't care what you're doing. You always need to have a stop loss. And the reason I'm saying this is because I know a lot of you guys know this, but I see people in the Discord server and I see people in live streams and even in the comment section tell me sometimes, I just got liquidated. Crap, I just lost 10 grand. There's no reason for you ever to get liquidated. First of all, if you're getting liquidated, then that means that you made a bad trade and you shouldn't have done that. And second of all, if you're getting liquidated, that means you lost everything. All you had to do was put a stop loss before your liquidation price. So that's the first thing. You have no excuse to ever get liquidated. If you've been liquidated, I'm sorry. You lost a lot of money, I'm sure. Make sure it doesn't happen again. If you make a mistake once, great. It's a learning experience. You make it twice, you screwed up. Don't do it. Second thing I want to mention is, guys, if Bitcoin does fall below the 100 simple moving average and down to the 200, don't look at it as a bad thing. Look at it as an opportunity. Everything that Bitcoin does is in and of itself an opportunity. If Bitcoin starts crashing here, guys, then guess what? There are all kinds of levels of support that you can go and buy Bitcoin at, because guess what, guys? If Bitcoin does start falling and breaking bearish here, there are all kinds of different levels of support that you can be looking to average into Bitcoin in. A prime example of this where I'll be buying a bunch of Bitcoin is at $6,400 to $6,000. Even though Bitcoin might go lower, that's a good place to be buying Bitcoin. If Bitcoin does start falling here, it's a great time to start dollar cost averaging into Bitcoin, into an investing portfolio that you're not planning on selling for many years. When Bitcoin crashes, guys, two things happen, and neither of those things are you make less money. The first thing is, instead of longing, you short. And it's just as easy to make money shorting as it is longing. The second thing is, it's a buying opportunity. In my opinion, I actually like when Bitcoin crashes, because when Bitcoin is rallying, the two things you can do is you can long or you can sell. But guys, guess what? If you're crashing, then you can either short or you can buy. And I don't want to sell Bitcoin. I want to buy Bitcoin. I want more Bitcoin. When something goes on sale, guys, when I walk into Walmart and I see this television that I've been wanting for the last 17 years because it's flat screen and it's like ultra high definition and the colors are awesome and I'm colorblind, it fixes that. When I see something that I really want and it's on sale, I don't don't go running and screaming from it because, oh no, it's crashing, the price is crashing. No, I buy it. I get really excited because this thing that I've been wanting for a long time, I finally get to buy it. And the same thing is true for Bitcoin, guys. When Bitcoin is crashing, you get to buy instead of getting to sell like you do in a bull market. You need time to load up your bag so that you can dump them later. The more time that Bitcoin spends down at low price levels, the more time that you have to make money either trading or with a job or with an entrepreneurial endeavor, what have you, and invest that into your Bitcoin position. So guys, with those two things said, what's most important is that you don't get liquidated. There's no excuse for that. What's also very important is that you don't look at this as a bad thing. You look at it as an opportunity. You need to buy so you can sell. Look to be buying Bitcoin around $6,000 to $6,400. This is not financial advice. I'm just showing you a level of support and a zone of support that you might want to use in your technical analysis. And also, of course, down on the 200 weekly simple moving average. This is a very powerful moving average that I personally think Bitcoin is going to bounce on if we go down that low. I don't see in any universe Bitcoin going below this. So if it does come down there, I'm going to be buying a crap ton of Bitcoin. So guys, tell me in the comment section down below what you thought of that video. You guys have been wanting a video like this for a little while. A lot of you guys were very excited about this video in the comment section down below when I mentioned it in yesterday's video. So tell me if you enjoyed the scenario and if you're looking forward to the bullish scenario that we will discuss in tomorrow's video. But guys, before we wrap it up, I do want to humbly remind you guys of the sale that is running on the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy. I want to say something, and that is that we've had nearly 900 people join the course, and you guys seem to really enjoy it. I talk to people that are in CT2A all the time, and if they're in CT2A, they normally have very good things to say about Bitcoin. I'm honest with you guys. I try to be as humble and honest and have as much integrity as I possibly can on this channel in the same way I do in real life. And I really don't get people complaining about CT2A. I don't get emails from people complaining or saying this sucked or I didn't understand this or this didn't make any sense. I want my money back. I don't get that stuff. There's nearly 900 people in the course and they all love it. Guys, I'm going to tell you straight up that people enjoy the course, they get their value out of it, and they're happy that they joined it. If you don't believe me, you don't have to. I don't want you to take my word for it. I want you to take the word of someone who went through this course and either enjoyed it or didn't, got their value or didn't themselves. Join the Discord server down below and go talk to people that are in CT2A. See if it was worth it for them, and maybe you can find out if it's worth it for you. If you don't think this is worth it for you, click off the video now and stop. But guys, I'll tell you something, for $159, you're going to be learning everything you need to know about cryptocurrency technical analysis. You're going to be learning everything you need to know about how to start profiting in these markets, and you're going to get all of it in one place with one teacher wrapped up into one product, so that it's very simple for you to go through, and there's a system for you to learn this stuff, because it is complicated, it is hard to learn, it does take a long time. Ask anyone. If you try and learn technical analysis on your own, it's going to be confusing. There's a reason that like 80 or 90% of day traders are unprofitable. So guys, if you are interested, I would humbly remind you about the sale running on and the coupon code down below, October 2019. You get $40 off at checkout, and I would recommend going and putting that $40 into Bitcoin or some other investment so you can get started trading and using what you're learning here. And I want you guys to remember something. I don't sell CT2A because I'm trying to jip you. I don't sell CT2A because I'm trying to scam you. The reason that CT2A exists is for two reasons. One is that a YouTube channel, especially when there's an employee and that there's expenses, it costs money and it costs time. And quite frankly, ad revenue doesn't make a whole lot of money. So when we're running this business, there does need to be some kind of incentive to be able to keep running it. And that's what CT2A does, is it allows us to keep doing this. Guys, CT2A existing allows for us to be able to continue bringing you guys this free content here on YouTube so that we can continue doing this, because this is a passion of mine. I love doing these videos, but I simply can't do it if there's not some way to actually finance the business. And second of all, guys, the reason that I started this YouTube channel is because I want to teach you guys about technical analysis. I want you guys to learn how to work in these markets, which is why I thought CT2A was the perfect thing to bring to the channel. So guys, tell me in the comment section down below what you thought of this video. Tell me in the comment section down below if you're in CT2A, what do you think about it? I don't want anyone to join the course without knowing what they're getting into, so let them know in the comment section down below if you enjoyed, if you don't, if you have criticism, if you have praise, let them know down below. Anyway, guys, that is pretty much going to wrap it up for today's video. I do hope you guys did enjoy today's video. I'm gonna go get some more coffee, guys, so like I said, that is going to do it for today's video. I do want to thank each and every single last one of you for watching as always, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.